Howdy. Okay, so, small disclaimer. I'm not someone that goes to school for game design. I'm not someone that has read a lot of books on game design. I'm someone who's been playing games since I was 2.5, 3 years old, and I'm 28. And it's someone I'm someone with an open mind to game design ideas for the most part. So in my time playing games, video games, and tabletop games, and card games, and all this fun stuff, I tend to look at the games and kind of break them down as best I can in my head, and you try and find the fun parts of games. In my case, and you try and apply them to other games and see where and kind of try to identify the games you'll really like based on the components of the games you've already played. It could be let's like step back all the way to like Final Fantasy V. I think it's 3. It doesn't matter. 5. One with the jobs. The job system is excellent. I love that whole idea of you can like customize a character and tweak them a little bit and put things from this in here and then kind of make your own little monster dude. It kicks a lot of ass, and that's his whole thing. That's a fun thing, and then you can find it in some other games out there. Typically, the job system you'll find specifically in other Final Fantasy games for the most part. But you can also look at a game like Fantasy Life. Is another game where the job system is super cool, and it's integral to the concept of the game. It's really fun, and it's cool, but I'm not here to talk about the crap I find cool. I'm here to talk about something that really pisses me off. So let's talk about randomness in games. Oh man, randomness in games is why I don't play specific games or genres in certain cases, because I know I'll have a bad time just because of the mechanic I'll find within. Now, randomness in games can be just fine. It can be super fun, and that's totally cool. Now, the kind of randomness I'm talking about here, let's talk about the specific case that's really irking the crap out of me right now. Sitting next to me right here is my DS. It's a wonderful machine. I play lots of games on it. It's wonderful. It's my friend. I'm presently playing a wonderful game. Came out like 2 weeks ago or some shit. Final Fantasy Explorers. Again, fun time job system, customizable characters, yay. Lots of fun. Except for one really stupid thing. So it's got it's like Monster Hunter with Final Fantasy crap in it. All you need to know. If you've never played Monster Hunter, it's skill based for the most part. You don't level up traditionally. You just get better shit from killing bigger monsters, and you go kill even bigger monsters with your new shit. And you do this ad infinitum until you're done, and until you are like me, maybe, and rack up 2,000 hours in a Monster Hunter game. But there's a problem with this game specifically. So forget most of the stuff in the game, whatever. We're gonna break it down to equipment. There's you get 2 like hand bits and shield and a sword or 2 swords or whatever. You have your head, torso, legs, armor, and then you have the accessories, and that's the part I really want to talk about. The weapons. You craft the weapon. The weapon has a specific trait on it. There we go, that's a little better. Same thing with the armor. The armor, you craft it as a specific trait too. It has specific stats. These things are unalterable for the most part. You can upgrade them, but they don't fluctuate when you craft them. It's not like if I make this piece of armor now, it'll be the same as this one that I make later unless I upgrade this one first. You get the idea. But then you come to accessories, and here's the kind of randomness in games that really pisses me off and makes me want to throw shit at people. And especially anyone that is in charge of making a game. I don't understand why this kind of crap has to exist anymore. There's no point in a game like this. So when you want to make an accessory, you have to sit down, get the materials, that's fine. Go to the station, craft the thing. The accessory comes with a base stat. We'll just save for shits and giggles. This one comes with like strength or something. It gives you a bonus of strength. It says like +1 on the thing, so it'll give you at least a bonus of strength. And then you craft the fucking item. And so first off, the game now rolls some dice for you, because every accessory has three extra, I think it's three, yeah, up to three extra effects that can possibly show up when you craft it. So it can be just the base effect, it can be the base effect plus two other effects, it can be all four effects, it can be just two, any of that crap. And then the magnitude of these effects, holy crap, is completely random. So you could get all four, and they could all be complete garbage, like very low end of the scale. Or you could craft all four, and they could be really high. Or you could get just two, and they're really good. Or it could be like two, and it's one really good one that you want, and one that's garbage. And I don't understand why this kind of thing has to exist in games anymore. When it's largely a cooperative single player, like it's a single player experience for when you're just playing. You can go online and play with other people. There's nothing competitive about it at all, and I don't understand why this has to be a barrier to having better equipment. It doesn't make sense to me. As a designer, you're sitting there and telling people that you want to frustrate them with like countless hours of soft resets and just like reloading the same game over and over again. In some cases, I've read accounts where they reload games for 7 hours straight, crafting the same one item over and over again until they get something that's acceptable. And instead of just griping about that off the top of my head or something, and maybe not offering any sort of solution to it, I'll just throw out there that you could have just freaking thrown in the thing. Okay, it gives +1 to strength off the bat. Fine. After that, do you want to just upgrade it? Get more materials and throw them in there and have the upgrades create more effects and have those effects magnified by throwing more of the same damn item at it, maybe? I don't know. You could... You're intentionally frustrating your player base. I've seen similar things in a game like Demon's Souls, grinding for like pure blade stones. For people who don't even know this, it's an insanely rare drop off of an enemy that shows up like twice, I think, in one level where you can easily in one level where you can show up and just kill him. And people would grind for I heard people grind for 2 weeks before they got one, sometimes longer. I mean, to my credit, it was so bad. I had three in the space of like a month, I think, maybe less. And I made it a point to go around for a week just handing out so people could get the fucking achievement for getting an item made with the stupid material. And this kind of randomness in games confuses me. We've been making video games for decades now. Decades. And we have some very well-refined games that don't have a lot of randomness in it that's very frustrating. And we have a lot of games where there's randomness that's just thrown in there like this shit. And my brain hurts. My brain hurts thinking about it. Because you can do better. Whatever random system you have put in place, you can do better. And good lord, there's games that have done better, and that's what's more frustrating. I typed up a list of like 5 games that do randomness just fine for the most part, or at least improve on the randomness in some way, shape, or form. Because you have this Final Fantasy Explorer example. This is the absolute worst of it. This is garbage. It's one very small piece of a game I really enjoy, and that's kind of hard for me. I lucked out, and last night got a good item, and I was like, yeah, it only took me fucking an hour and a half. Yeah, like an hour and a half. It's the dumbest shit I've ever done in my life. Probably not. I've probably done something stupid or more grindy. But the point is it's dumb. And then you have a game, Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen just came out on PC like a month ago or something like that. And it's a great game. 97-ish% of the game is nothing random at all. You don't have to deal with anything crazy or nothing until you get to the stupid DLC shit. And I won't do much to spoil this because it's the end of the DLC shit and it's crazy end game crap for people who want to play the game. But towards the end of the game, to get the best gear, you have to get items that you turn into a guy that he then spits out a random item at you based on your class at the time when you decide to redeem it. Now you would think, oh, well, what about the Final Fantasy thing where you just kind of save your game, make it, and then come back? If it's not what I want, and try it again. Well, no, this game happens to save the order of the shit you're supposed to get. It's a random list, but it's a list, and you can't deviate from the list. So if you turn in, 3 items and you get these 3 items, if you try and do it again, you'll get the same 3 items. Now, luckily, what's kind of cool is That list varies for each class, so if you just do the 3 for this one, you don't like this one at all, you can reset and try for the warrior class and get 3 different items instead, and maybe those items are better items than the ones you would have gotten the other way. You get the idea. You can kind of rig the system, but the system's still crap. That's the point. You shouldn't have to lengthen your game like that. The DLC content for Dragon's Dogma was really good, and I enjoyed playing it a million times over. The problem is when I started sitting down to grind for the better stuff that I wanted to just have the better gear, I was done with the game because there was no point. I'd beaten the stupid DLC thing a million times over. I've made videos of me beating it for fun in a dress, punching the final boss or something. You can have a lot of fun with the game. It's got a lot of freedom like that. But that kind of randomness is just garbage. Why would you want that? Why would anyone want to play through that? Why? It's nothing but time-consuming nonsense. At best. And there's very little you can do to alleviate that. So then if you step it up, let's take it to another level. Let's take a very extreme example of randomness in a game like Pokemon, where, let's not go too nuts with this, but let's just say the stats in this game are extremely randomized. There's a lot of variables. Those variables have very wide ranges on stats in different Pokemon, and it's time-consuming to get a good one. Let's leave it there at that point. But once you have this good one and you want to breed more good ones, there are many tools in place to eliminate about 90% of the randomness. And they've done a lot in the recent generations to mitigate all the frustration that would come with having to sit there and just breed these little bastards. And the same thing with training them. There was a lot of random crap that went on with the stats and how you brought them up and stuff, but now there's different ways to kind of mitigate the frustration with trying to, keep these things in a fucking little bubble until they're ready for you to actually use them. There's ways to mitigate the randomness after you've gotten through the story. Or even before that, if you really want to do that kind of thing. You can mitigate all of it. And being able to mitigate the randomness is a big part of the fun of the thing. When you get into the game, if people don't give a shit about the randomness, fine, leave it there, that's fine. But for the people like me who give a shit and want to grind it out, do like Pokemon, please, and add some shit to mitigate the randomness towards the end. Because it's nonsense and nothing but time consuming and nothing but frustrating. And I mean, it's very satisfying when you do end up with that really cool thing. But I think the better idea, instead of sitting there wasting my time with randomness, is you just put a fucking challenge in the game that I can step my skills up to, and then you can just give me the goddamn item. Or let me just fucking go out and achieve the damn thing by collecting resources. Anything. The randomness is just bullshit. And you can see another thing too, like roguelikes are actually another really random fucking game that I kind of hate a little bit on the side. I don't really enjoy playing roguelikes because you can just kind of get screwed, but you watch people who really enjoy these games and they've kind of, it's very statistics based and they enjoy all that stuff, and I can get into that myself if I really want to sit down and do it, but I just don't want to sit down and do math every time I play a game like that. But the game is random, but as you get better at the game, you're given more tools. And your skill plays into how well you do a lot. And that's fine. That's great. And you get more weapons, and you get better, and you get more options, and you eventually have a lot of different means to get to the end of the game. And roguelikes can be fun like that. Binding of Isaac, Crypt of the Necrodancer. Good lord, there's got to be other ones. There was ZFG on the PSP. God, I've played games like this, and I can't remember any of them off the top of my head anymore. But or ZHP or something like that? Yeah, ZHP. Yeah, that's right. ZFG's the speedrunner. Anyways, but those are games where you can just do that, and they set you back to zero all the time, but you just get better. And then you have more tools, and you can progress. And that's the design of the game, is to have that random element, but it's to give it more replayability. It's not to sit there and frustrate the shit out of you. And to a lesser degree, you have Diablo-style games where everything about the game is random, the map is generated randomly, your drops are random, everything's random except for how you build the character. And in a way, I can get behind that because I like to customize the character. I like to play through the games like that, but I don't like that my customization, my advancement, is now limited by a system that's based entirely in randomness. Like, I don't want to sit there and kill the same boss 12 times over that I know I can kill very easily to maybe get the one item I want. And I understand that Diablo has a system in place now to give you items much easier, and it's fine, that's great, but it's not for me because I just want to go kill the one really hard boss and get the item I want. I don't think that's lazy of me. I think that's just developers fucking trying to artificially inflate the playtime of their games and give them a longer life artificially. It's not more content. It's the same content that you are forced to experience over and over again. And in some cases, that's fine with Diablo. You at least experience the content. But again, back to this example, I experienced no content for an hour and a half. I sat there and reset this game and walked up to the same counter for an hour and a half and crafted the same item a crap load of times. Why would you want to do that? That's not fun. So I don't know. I wanted to rant about this, and I'll probably make more videos like this where I just rant my head off about stupid shit in games I like and don't like, because I've played a lot of them and I have a lot of shit to draw from. I'll leave links and shit to appropriate stuff where you can contact me, drop comments and subscriptions and likes and shit everywhere. Y'all are adorable.